Hi guys, welcome to this video where we take a look at the next generation of the web, Web 3, and how we're making the blockchain technology faster. Can you afford to miss the next version of Web 3 and all of the understanding that comes with it? So, if you want to enjoy more free content that I've got and loads of other stuff, then hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, ding dong the bell, and don't forget we've got the Avelx newsletter on avelx.co.uk. Now I've already made a video on Web 3 which I will link in this little card up here. On mobile it's down somewhere. Now I've already spoken about this, so I'll keep it real simple. What is Web 3? Web 3 is taking the database technology that runs a lot of cryptocurrencies and makes it available for applications, our applications that we build on the web. This does one of many things. It allows us to scale very quickly. It allows us not to have to pay for the infrastructure that goes into that. You will have to pay a certain fee at some point, but the whole point is that it's actually offering the blockchain technology to web applications. So a lot of people say, well, the blockchain is for cryptocurrency. Decouple that. Cryptocurrency uses the blockchain. The blockchain is a database technology. It's a shared ledgered database that allows for security and a democracy that builds that database, and it's the foundation of the database. With that technology you can store all kinds of information on the blockchain. The blockchain is not just for crypto. I want you to clear that out of your mind. Crypto uses blockchain, but they're not the same thing. You can have crypto, you can have web applications now with Web 3. That is what Web 3 is a front-end application that doesn't change all that much, but the back end is a revolution in the back end where we actually don't store it on a centralized server like a dedicated host or a serverless host. What we do is we store that on the blockchain. Now the issue comes with speed, right? The blockchain is actually relatively slow. This database is not a single host like you normally would, and you'd have a MySQL or Postgres or Oracle or whatever it is, database technology installed on there, and you're instantly transmitting data. This happens in fractions of a millisecond. Now with the blockchain, because it's a bunch of ledgers, it's basically a bunch of checkers, right? These computers act like checks, and they go, is this database information correct, da 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 da. And that all gets, as a democracy, put onto the network, and it can never be taken off the network, which is one of the beauties. But it means it's slow. So instead of you transmitting the data to a specific server, and that server storing the database directly on the host, now it's a little bit different. Now, store information on the Bitcoin blockchain or the Ethereum blockchain, or the new one is Solana, which is helping to create a blockchain that's actually faster to interact with. So that's one thing to look out for. You've got these different chains, but they're all running the same thing, which is a democracy. A bunch of computers that are inserting information into the database. The blockchain equals database. Now, the problem is you're not doing it through a centralized server, as I said, with lickety-split speed. This can be rather slow sometimes, and especially when the network is in use more. There's different countries, different time zones, more people accessing the node at certain times. That can slow the chain down, the whole database down, because it's a public database, but it's fully encrypted. So each bit that you store in the database is fully encrypted to your application, so no other application can mess with that. Plus, no one can actually remove that information or delete that information. Now, this poses a great problem because when you want to transact with that database technology using the brand new Web 3, it can become rather slow. And with the way that people want to use your interface, do they want to wait 700 milliseconds? Seriously, just time 700 milliseconds or one elephant on your computer. Like, that's a long time to do something that's rather trivial, like insert some text or update this piece of information. So this is where technology like Moralis comes in. Now, Moralis is a server company. You can think of them like a server company, but this server company is a little bit different to the others. What Moralis does is it has its servers, and you'll see more of these companies pop up, where they'll have their servers, and what they do is they download the blockchain into their database. So their servers will have like a MySQL or a Postgres database, and they download the blockchain, they simulate that data, they import that data into their database technology. What does that do for me? Well, when I want to create decentralized apps, I would use necessarily Moralis because I don't want the slow speed that it takes to actually input data to an actual blockchain. So these guys act like middlemen between the blockchain and you, the application developer. So I tell Moralis, this is the data that I want to store. Moralis takes that data and instantly puts it into their database. Now what that means is I get that lickety-split speed that allows me to build real-time applications, and it's event-driven, so what comes down, what goes up must come down. So I've sent the data up, it goes into their database, their Postgres database, and then it brings it back down. But one extra thing that Moralis does is not only insert it into that database so that I can have that stored as persistent data, they then transact that data to the blockchain. So I get the speed from their platform, I get like a normal host, the speed that I need to build real-time applications, and then the data can simply be popped onto the blockchain at its own graceful time. And it doesn't matter which chain you choose. If it's the Bitcoin blockchain, that's one of the slowest, so that in and of itself is, you know, it's like 700 milliseconds or something crazy, which when you're doing thousands of these transactions, that's not good. So I'm using their sort of technology that they've got there where they're bringing in the blockchain, they're putting my data in a format that the blockchain will accept, and then it gives me that data back in real time. And then what it does is it, you know, so it's feeding the data straight away, and then as it gracefully goes up to the blockchain of choice, I don't have to have that latency cost. So that's where middlemen come in. So you can store it on your database very quickly, and then that data will eventually be transferred up to the blockchain. So what are the pros and the cons? Well, the pro is that number one, I get real-time application data, and two, I get to work with a decentralized database as well. So that if Moralis goes under, if any of these hosts go under, all my data is on the blockchain. And there's tons of pros to being on the blockchain. Like even if you were to go out of business, the user's data and their application can still run as a decentralized application, for example. So all of these things are actually really beneficial. So if someone tries to sue a company out of existence, you've still got your data. If Steam, for example, if I pay for all my games on this Web3 blockchain technology, if Steam went out of business, I've still got my games. If I've got any service, I've still got that service as a decentralized application with a decentralized database that no one can take away from us. Now, there is another issue. There are a few cons with this. As you've got a middleman here, he's got hosts. So this middleman is Moralis. There'll be more companies around like this where they download the blockchain technology and do the real-time APIs, but they've got their own database, they've got their own infrastructure, that needs paying for, so you've got to pay for that. And then you've got the transaction to the blockchain. Now the blockchain is not just free to put things on. Whenever you want to transfer cryptocurrency, for example, there's usually a fee involved with that because that costs CPU power, that costs money. So the whole point about this is that when you take the data from Moralis, when Moralis says, I want to put that onto the chain, that also will cost you money as well. Now, with faster blockchain technology, I hope one day we could just go straight to a blockchain, right? That would be amazing. And that technology will eventually come with a real-time blockchain. That will be a breakthrough revolution. However, as there isn't at this moment in time, Solana is trying to resolve that issue, but still, you'll possibly find that this method is far quicker than going straight to a blockchain. So the reality is you'll have to pay the price to actually put it on the chain as well. So not everything is free. There is still prices to pay, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've got more of an understanding of Web3 and some intermediary companies that are acting on behalf of the blockchain to give you real-time applications. If you want more free content, if you want loads of other stuff, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go on to avelx.co.uk, join the mailing list, and we will see you in the next video.